Hi and hello friends. I am again back with those unfinished subject which we are talking about human migration for class 9 and 10, and the next part of the question that we are going to deal is on the impact of migration. The impact of migration. We have talked upon the reasons why people migrate, and now we are going to learn on the impact of migration which it has for the mankind. Now we understand the migration. Last time I told you that migration is when people move in search of many things to different places. That is migration. But the next now is the impact of migration. I was going through some of your comments and messages that you keep sending me, and one of you had mentioned that what are the reasons migration takes place and how is the best way to migrate or which country to migrate. And a lot of questions, children's, you have a lot of questions, why people go or where is the best place to go. Some of them say America is the best place to go, but looking at the problems what is being faced in America, I don't think I will advise you to go there, because lot of problems taking place in the cities of America with the killing of George Floyd, the black man who was killed by the police. So due to that, there is a lot of tension in that country against non-whites. That means anyone who is not having that Caucaside breed, race, you will find difficulties there. And everywhere, this is a very bad thing, that because of our skin color, we are subject to social discrimination. Maybe it can be our human rights don't apply to us when our color does not match with the indigenous or the local population of that area. These are some of the causes of migration that we have to understand. These are some of the causes. In our textbook also we find one of the reason is due to this factor also, why there is a lot of tension when a migration takes place. And sad to see in India also, people from the northeast who had gone to work in different places within our country, they had been discriminated, they have been called with different names, and they went through horrible time living in those places, because some of the people, they considered them as Chinese. Like I remember when my wife and my son, they were living in Jharkhand, Ranchi, where they were staying there when my son was in his college there, when he was studying in St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, and they were staying in a rented house. When they were staying in the rented house, when they used to go out for marketing and shopping and all, they used to always think and call her by saying that Korean, or sometimes she was also been called as Nepalis. Now those are racist. Maybe ignorance also might be there. Ignorance might be there, that we call people who do not look like typical Indians. Now people will look at my face and they'll think that I am from the south side. Now if I go to South India, I will be readily accepted. But if I go to North India, I might not be readily accepted because I don't look like a typical North Indian person. So these are impact of migration which has on the population who go and live in this kind of places. So America, at this present moment, I will not advise you to go and migrate there. There are a lot of opportunities, they say, in Canada, Australia, and some of these European countries. Why don't you go there? Those places are more better. Maybe you will have more social security. You might not be discriminated seriously like what is happening in America. I hope the situation clears faster, and people who are living there during this pandemic of coronavirus, they also will keep themselves safe as they take out processions and means march and means express their human rights and feelings regarding this problem of racial discrimination, or racially we have been discriminated because of our skin color. So remember, we need to take that kind of feeling away from us. We don't need that again to change our lives. Already religion has means discriminated many of us because we practice all kinds of religion. That has also caused lot of tension and problems for many people. So we don't need another color to be the reason where people kill each other and harm each other and discriminate each other due to this. But these are reasons for migration, impact on migration. It says here, when we migrate, remember, we take our culture and go there. Whatever culture we practice in our place where we live, and then when we go to certain different place, we take our culture, and we take our culture, we diversify, and we integrate into that culture. That is one of the impact. Our culture practice that we have been practicing for many years, when we go to some other new place, we take our culture there, and there we try to mix it maybe with the culture which is already present there, or the culture which is being followed there, and we have to adapt and change very fast. That is one of the impact. Our culture goes into highway, means it really changes. Means we might be Indians, but we are living in, suppose we are living in America or any other parts of the world, we have to change our culture, diversify, and make our culture adjustable to that place where we are living. Because if you continue to follow the culture, maybe the society or where you are living might not accept you. So that is one of the impact of human migration, that our culture changes when we go into a new place, because in that area, you will be living with different types of people who practice different types of culture. Not like in your own village where you practice one form of culture, or the culture that you practice in the village might be acceptable, but in certain areas your cultural dress, food habits, especially for Northeast Indians, food habits make it a very complicated matter, and it becomes racist in some places when the people call you and know you only because they have heard, they have never seen, but they have heard stories about people of the Northeast eating certain things and this and that. And when you say I'm from the Northeast, oh, tum wo khata hai, aisa karta hai, waisa karta hai. They have means a false assumption about the people. Maybe it's not in our culture, but then many of us are subject to this kind of abuse when we go out from our village for education or for our form of workplace or for many other reasons when we migrate. The next point it says, whenever there is human migration, it goes for livelihood. That means to improve the socio-economic activity. They go and work in industries, factories, hotels, service centers, and means number of things they work. They work in lot of sectors. It can be primary sectors, it can be secondary sectors, it can be whatever you can say, you know. They go and work and find place and find their livelihood in all types of kinds of jobs and activities which that place offers to them as a employment. So you find that people go out because they go in search of work for the socio-economic condition, and that plays an important part, because when they go to that place, immediately that place gets labor, and that place immediately starts the other related industrial or economic activities of that area slowly changes and gradually changes, and it becomes very fast. That area develops fast because people go there and work in those places. Now so many lakhs and lakhs of Northeast people have come back from the place of work. I was reading and I was listening to some of the news that they say some of the industries and factories and hotels and service centers, there is lack of jobs because people are not working there. The people have come back, so those places plenty of jobs are empty, and then the sickness is there, so people have left, and we find that this is one of the reasons. Some of those industrial sectors or service center sectors, there is no means activities. It couldn't start after the lockdown period has been over. For the industry to start and the hotels to and service centers to start, people are very less staffs are working there because of this coronavirus. Now the third point, it says that the impact of human migration can be also on the religious, on the language and culture. It can create a lot of tension in that area because of our religion, because of our culture, because of the place where we come from, and the way we behave and practice what we practice in our village, and then we go and practice in those kind of places where we have migrated. We can create a lot of tension. So those are some of the impact of migration. And the fourth point, it says here, there is population pressure created in those areas. Lot of jhoppadpattis and shanty homes, these kinds of villages set up outside the city limits where migrated people live, because they can't afford to buy or house, they can't afford to live in a very nice rented rooms, so they go into this small chawls, jhoppadpattis, shanty houses, makeshift houses, and they live in this kind of in areas. And imagine what will be the health condition of those areas, what will be the problems they will face in those kind of areas, the condition in that area, in the city area, drinking water, electricity, health and other related problems will be many for them. Some places it might be worse also, like they say in the world, or I don't know, in the world there is a jhoppadpatti, or it might be not a college jhoppadpatti, Dharavali or something in Bombay, where this coronavirus has become a real headache for the government of Maharashtra. There is one of the biggest slum areas of the world is there in Mumbai. So that area has these kind of problems. because the people have to live very close to each other in makeshift homes. But now if you go to Bombay, Valley, or whatever is the name, you will find nice homes have come up where people have settled down, and like it has become their own property, maybe, where they are living there for generations now. So these are created by human migrations. These are the impact of migration. It might cause lot of health issues. It might cause lot of socio-economic condition, and it can even be a big burden for the state when large number of people go out and live in those areas, in those cities. It can create lot of problem for those cities, areas where this kind of human migration takes place, because that government or that area or municipality has to deal with this kind of population which is coming and living in those areas. The government has to take care of them. So those are the problems that the local government in that place will create. And the last one is that when many people leave away from the village for human migration to some other place, imagine the area where they have left from. Maybe in some homes there are only the old parents living in the village, and the children are all staying abroad or away from their homes because of employment. There is a lot of quietness and insecurity and loneliness, and the village or the area becomes again depopulated. Means population becomes less because many have gone to work and find their livelihood in the far off places. So there is also a family problem because of human migration, the impact. So I brought out basically around 6 points where the impact of migration is very bad in a society. It can create a lot of problems, because as we know, if somebody is away from the home and only 2 or 3 people stay in the villages, it is really a bad thing to those who are staying back. Maybe the person who is, and he also who has been working in that place alone, he might feel also that family pressure and the family loneliness that he is missing. These are some of the social things to which human impact or human migration takes place. So please learn and see what are the points that I have mentioned. Go through your books again, take it from the book. I have explained to you what are the impacts of migration, and I hope I have been able to make you understand some of the reasons why there is great problems when human migration takes place, and the impact is on the lives of the people which they leave behind, and plus on the lives of the people which they go and live with in the far off places, plus on themselves also. And until then, wherever you're living, you have migrated and you're working and living and doing your own activities of whatever sphere of life you are living in, please remember your culture, remember your place from where you have come, and definitely if you know your culture and your belief wherever you are, I think you are doing your best and showing that who you are. Thank you very much, and continue to learn, understand and comment, so that I also will try to develop myself with informations and matters, but basically I will normally have to stick to my textbooks from where you also read and learn. So please go through your textbooks also and make notes on them, why impact of migration and why people migrate. These are the 2 questions that I have answered on human migrations, and I hope you have learned something from them. Until then, thank you very much and खुश रहो, स्वस्थ रहो. थैंक यू.